Yep, I started. Okay.
Yep, I see it.
See it?
Mm-hmm. I see you waving.
Goes. There you go. Yep. Hello, everyone. Hola, Wilson, ¿cómo estás? Hola, hola. April, how are you? How are you? Titi, ¿cómo estás allá en Vail? Hola. Hello, everyone. Samantha. Hi, babes. How are you? I was going to record over at the world around us, but I know that everybody's used to coming here to La Gitana on Wednesdays, right? We're going to start earlier because this is a really, really deep discussion that we're going to have today. And we have a guest. I actually traveled. What? What? Yeah, she got me out of the office. What? It was about time, too. So, you get your coffee. There's no music today. So, sorry, we ain't shaking the booties or none of that today. Hey, Sam. ¿Cómo estás? What are you up to? I got my tea. Y'all got to get your tea, your coffee, whatever it is. Put your phone wherever you need to put it. If you can't watch us, you're going to listen to us because this is going to help you and everybody around you, okay? So I need you to share this video. It's very important. I need your support today really bad. I need you to start sharing this video for everybody to see. Rodney, how are you, hon? Hi. Hi, guys. Yolanda, how are you guys? So, since everybody's starting to come on.
You didn't get your grapes.
Oh.
Thought you were getting your grapes.
Yes, yes. She spoiled me, guys. She spoiled me. She sure did. I'm going to come out of here, I don't know, too spoiled, I think. I don't know.
You deserve every bit of it. Every bit of it.
Yeah, I got grades. My bad habit. You know that, guys. So, guys, today I am so happy that I got out of the studio, got out of the office, and came out of here. Samantha, thank you for sharing, babe. This is one, she's a great friend. She's been my friend for a very long time. She was actually my number one support, pushed me over the edge to start all this madness. Her, right here.
Wow.
Dr. Clack.
Oh.
And she's also the first one that I had as guest
I remember that.
on the world around us.
Yes.
So, Maribel, hello, David. How's Rhonda? Again, I am not in the studio today. I am out. So there's no music, guys. Sorry. I know. Y'all are ready for the music. Don't worry. It's still going to be great. I'm telling you. So push that share button and let's get started, okay? I am here with Dr. Angela Clack. She is a licensed psychotherapist. And she's going to tell you all the differences. So don't worry about all the titles. Don't get confused. Hold on. Doctorally trained clinician. Again, she's going to explain all this. It's for a reason. Trust me.
I love you. I love your energy. Oh my gosh.
And owner of Clack Associates. I just found out where she's located. I'm going to give her Puerto Rican pow pow. I'm going to put her over my knee and give her Puerto Rican pow pow. She has a private practice for outpatient counseling. She has been working in the mental health field for over 25 years. Aileen, ¿cómo estás? Maribel, Dr. Clack has made a massive impact in her community by reducing the stigma of people of color who seek mental health treatment. I'm telling you, all this stuff, don't worry about it. We got this. We're going to clarify all of this. And it's going to be good for you. You'll see. Dr. Clack treats adults and youth suffering from depression, anxiety, grief and loss, as well as general emotional distress and relationship problems. Now, you know we all have those. Don't pretend. Dr. Clack is also and I've been making her laugh since I got here.
Oh my gosh. I see this on her show, so I know.
Her book, she is an author. On top of all that, she's an author.
Thank you.
On top of all of this. And she does speaking. So if you need someone to come to your event and speak,
awesome.
I'm telling you, she is powerful. Sass! Yes, babe. How are you? Push that share button, girl. Go ahead. It was about time I got her back, right? I know.
Oh my gosh.
So I reached out to Dr. Clack because I'm concerned about all the messages and the posts and everything that I see that is going on all these news feeds. And I'm concerned because so many, thank you, babe. That's my brother Wilson in New York.
Hi.
Yeah. I have people from Puerto Rico, right, everybody? From Puerto Rico, New York, Florida. They all come and listen. Awesome. So I really appreciate all your support.
Worldwide.
Listen, I work it somehow. Yes. So, and many come on here that don't wave or anything like that. Yeah. I still love you, and you know it. So I've been concerned about the mental stability of a lot of people. I've been concerned about how can I help you reach some kind of inner peace. And I don't know how to do that myself. I can give you the music, you can shake a little bit, you can, feel great for a little bit, and then what? I'm gone, right? So I can give you some words of encouragement, inspire you with my stories of what I go through, right? But you still need more than a happy moment. You need somebody that can go in deeper and that can help you reach that place of, okay, let me reason through these things that I'm going through and figure out how to get to my balanced place again. And I'm talking to adults, and I'm also talking to teenagers, and I'm talking to little kids. Yes, even little kids, okay? Because if you think that little kids don't get depressed, you're wrong. They do. So I need all of you, I'm serious, I need all of you to start pushing that share button. Because when she starts talking, y'all need to hear it, okay? So Dr. Clack, thank you for coming back.
Of course, you're very welcome.
Oh, so happy, so thrilled.
Can I tell you what my favorite memory is? Oh. One of the many. When we first did the show in Camden, and we were doing Mental Health Awareness Month. So green is the commemorative color for that. And you had someone create green cupcakes.
Oh, yes! I totally forgot about that.
So many green cupcakes. And I think there was even a design on them or something. I can't remember.
It was the 4-leaf clover of good luck.
Yeah. You went out of your way to do that, to integrate that into part of that mental health awareness. I was like, oh my gosh, like that was over the top. I said that was one of my favorite memories.
I take that serious because, as you know, I've gone through depression, and not depression where it's just one day, okay? Because that's not depression. I've gone through depression. She knows it. I've always been very able to talk to her about it. And she'll either tell me step by step Richie from Trent. Camille, how are you? One of my model colleagues. Thank you for joining. Hit share. Richie, hit share. And so I've been able to share with her about why the depression. She knows more than what you guys I've shared with you. And she's been able to help me. I don't know if you recover completely from depression because there's still the thoughts every once in a while.
Every once in a while, yep.
So there's the inner struggle and the inner battling that you go through. But just getting her support and getting her words of wisdom of what to do and what not to do, what triggers and what not triggers. So you have to know your triggers and be able to control all the sadness, the deep sadness. I'm not talking about the one day sadness. I'm talking about the deep sadness. The sadness that you can't just shake off because it just doesn't happen that way. I love you, babe. I love you. And Chris, I see you. Yeah, babe. Thank you. Share it, babe. So tell us what all the definitions first of all, because I don't want them to be so confused about who is she?
Right.
What?
That's a good question because a lot of times I get phone calls when people start telling me what's going on, and I'm like, I'm with you. Like, okay. And they're like, so you prescribe medication, right? And I'm like, oh,
that
I should have established that 4 minutes ago. No, I don't.
No.
So some of the different roles, if you're looking for a helping person, sometimes people start with their primary care. So sometimes people are feeling bad. They're feeling out of sorts. They don't know kind of what's going on. So, of course, they go to the doctor first, the primary doctor. So the primary doctor sometimes may do a first-line intervention of medication before they get a really good sense of what's going on. And then you have some providers who really stay in their lanes and I think you should see so-and-so. And they even sometimes have business cards or people they refer to. So some people start with their primary care provider. Secondly, so you can have a general psychotherapist. So it's a licensed mental health professional who does counseling from a private practice office or an agency. And then the two bigger kinds of roles that get confused are a psychiatrist. And so you know the psychiatrist because they have a medical degree. So they have an MD behind their name.
Oh, okay.
And that means they can prescribe medication. The psychologist, up until in the last maybe 10, 12 years, had not traditionally been prescribers. You now can go back and get a respecialization and add that to part of your services. I don't know a lot of psychologists who do that. Most psychologists do there's a ton of other things that we can do
other than medication.
But primarily when people are looking for medication, they want to ask for a psychiatrist. Psychologists do the talk therapy, kind of like you come in the office, you start processing things. You can see a counselor. Sometimes our words are counselor, therapist. They're interchangeable, but that's the difference between the two. A psychiatrist is actually a medical doctor.
Okay. I know that a lot of people are scared of the medication. So going through someone like Dr. Clack is so much better. I'm telling you. It's much better. Okay.
Unless you need the medication. Which therapists help people figure that out.
This is my only medication, right? And you know it.
So the therapist's job is to help people figure out. Like sometimes we may say, I think we need a little bit help.
Okay.
And by that, we may say like, wow, by the time sometimes people get the courage up and aren't afraid of what people will think and what people will say, and they say, okay, I want to give therapy a try. Well, they could have been in that dark place for years. Okay. And so by the time they get into therapy, it may be so deep, we need to give them a little something to come up out of that. So they can have some clarity and be able to think and to be able to actually do the work that the therapist is going to require of them. So sometimes we do go in concert and agree, like, I think you should try something. But then there's other time we'll say, hey, what you're going through, I think let's try to do therapy first and then let's work that in. because sometimes people think they automatically always need medication, and that's not true.
You see? And we're always assuming that we do, right? And so, and the one big thing that both of us despise is the labeling.
Yes.
The stigma.
Yes.
Don't stigmatize anybody with, oh, you're going to a therapist so that you're crazy. I went through therapist. I'm not crazy. You're going through a situation that you don't know how to handle. Or it may be like too much, too big. It may be something traumatic that you've never been through. And how do you go through that? Someone that is getting divorced. Yes. They didn't think about ever, I'm never going to get divorced. I'm going to be married forever. And then boom, all of a sudden. That's not something small.
That's right.
Okay? Regardless how us women, we're like, oh, well, vete, I don't care. Yo no te necesito a ti. Yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Okay? Get down to earth, girlfriend. You do need him. You need somebody, okay? Right now, you need me and Dr. Clack, okay? Please. I don't need him. What? Girl, stop.
The realness is appreciated.
Say what? Girl, please.
That's cute.
And I say that because out of anger, we say and do things without taking the moment to step back and think about what's going on, how am I going to deal with it, what am I really feeling about this whole thing, and should I confront him or her, or should I confront the kids with this, or what should I do?
Yeah, there's definitely a better way to manage the disappointment that you feel like you're a failure. So a lot of times people who don't make it in marriage will think that they're a failure. There are a lot of ways to manage the grief and the death, because divorce is like a death, right? So the grief that comes from that, the mourning, particularly someone who has been the love of your life for 20-something years, you know, those feelings don't just go away.
No.
And so therapists are like a guide to say, let's slow down a little bit. Let's slow down. Let's breathe. Let's not jump too far into things, because you could jump ahead in the process and delay your recovery.
Exactly.
So you're jumping ahead. You're like, okay, I'm going to divorce. I want 50%. I want this. I want that. I want that. You know,
and not think it through.
You never get clarity. You never focus on yourself in this process. And then when it's all said and done, you're so broken. And you've thought you've done it and thought about everything, but you forgot about you.
Yeah. And what's scary is that I've seen women that become angry at the whole situation. And so they stay bitter for however long, even way. Carrie, my designer, just came on. Hi, Carrie. Mimi from Atlantic City. Love you, babe. I know that a lot of people, a lot of women, a lot of men are more easy, because I'm divorcing you, I'm done, thank you, ma'am, it was great, and they head out. And then you're sitting at home trying to break every plate you got, because now you're angry and you're bitter, but you need someone to talk so that you can figure out that bitterness.
And the person you don't need to talk to is another woman who's stuck in that.
Yes.
So people can quickly commiserate with where you are, because they're still in their grieving and mourning phase. And so it will be sort of like this girls' club. He did this, you should do that, he should do that. And while you're doing all that infighting, you know, it's affecting your family, it's affecting your health, your physical health, and your mental health. So you don't want to talk to somebody who has not yet figured out how to deal with their own and manage their own grief and anger. You need someone who can give you some objectivity around it.
Yes. And sometimes we get into these groups because we want that, it's okay to misbehave, girl.
We want somebody to co-sign what we're doing. That's what it is.
Send him that text. He deserves it. I ain't gonna tell you that ever. Okay? So forget it. That ain't gonna happen for me, okay?
Yes.
So,
yes.
And posting it,
yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you that either.
Yeah.
Listen, Beatrice may talk about a lot of stuff. La Gitana might be the friskies of all friskies. But we both know there's a limit. And there's certain things that you need to internalize quietly. And that you need to speak to someone like Dr. Clack and get a hold of before it explodes to a magnitude that you're like, it's too big now.
Yeah. For me, the collateral damage is children.
Oh, yes.
So a lot of times I have worked with children of divorce, and parents have already moved on in new relationships and they're not divorced. Sometimes they're not even separated, and they're introducing people into the kids' lives too soon. And they say, well, I deserve to be happy. You absolutely do deserve to be happy. But there's a process, and you have children, and you have a responsibility to their healthy understanding of relationships. And so you don't open one door and you haven't closed the other one.
Right.
And so you're angry, you're spewing hate about that partner in front of the kids. And people don't realize that kids carry the stress of their parents. And so they may go to school and act out, or they may act out with their siblings, and you think it's just normal, or you think it's, well, that's what kids do. But really, it is the stress and strain of the tension in the home from the parents.
That they see.
Yeah.
Because children can pick up on your feelings.
Yes, absolutely. Well, particularly when you bring them into it.
Right.
Like, I have lots of parents who now will make an alliance with the kid against the other parent.
Oh, I've seen that.
So when you bring the kid in, that kid has the burden of the loyalty to both parents and trying to figure out, you know, do I protect my mom or my dad? Like, that is very stressful.
For a child.
Yes.
Especially when they are in their teens and they're going through their personal changes. Can you imagine putting then your load on top of their change? It's like their head is everywhere.
Because as adults, we're very selfish.
Yes.
And we put our happiness above all, and we say, well, I take care of my kids. You probably do. They probably have everything they want in their room. You go in a room, they probably have every device and electronic. But emotionally, you are carrying around that bitterness, and those kids absorb that stress.
Picking it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're picking it.
Yeah.
And I'm listen, I'm guilty. What? Yes. I'm guilty. When my kids were younger, if I got into an argument with my husband, I would turn and tell one of them something.
At least you're honest about it. I mean, honestly. Yes. It happens. You're exactly right.
Wait a minute. I'm going to wait for all of y'all to admit the same darn thing. Then you know it. I know my crowd.
Okay. You know your audience.
Okay. I admit that because I know that was wrong. And I learned it in time to stop it. Did they still see mom struggling? Yes. Did they still see dad frustrated? Yes. But I no longer turned to them as my counselor. I looked for a therapist.
There you go.
I went and got a therapist. I did. Brenda, her name is Brenda. I can't remember how to say her last name. But she did a one brain therapy that at that time was something that was not even heard of. It was some technique that psychiatrists were starting to use.
I think I may know. Okay.
And it worked. It taught me how. You know why I got that slogan, my theme, changing one mindset at a time? Because this mindset had to change.
That's good.
One mindset at a time. If you change, then your children change. Then your husband changes. Then your community changes. Then your family changes. Right. Everybody starts to change their mindsets. Everybody starts to live different. You know, we have to break what we're taught. Because even in the Spanish community, we're taught what happens here.
Yes.
Don't go out there and say it to nobody. And therapists, you're not crazy. You don't go to no therapist.
That's right. Yeah. And
Mom, love you, but...
That's most marginalized in minority communities.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm telling you, shh, mommy, shh, go out there. And not, when you heard her, she said, don't just go to start a girls' night. Let's go girls' night. I know those girls' night. Let's talk about our husband night. That's what it should say. That's what it should say. Let's talk about our husband night. In fact, let's share stories about what my boyfriend does. It's not no girls' night. Come on now. I'm 50. Please. Instead of doing that, go to a therapist. It's not that you're labeling yourself crazy, because you're not. If you have a situation that you cannot control yourself, if you see yourself crying over and over and over again, that's not just sadness.
That's right.
That's more than sadness. That's something deep that you have no say in. You have no control in. So go find the help that you need. And I'm talking to the men. TC, press that share button. Don't make me go to Philly.
Please press that button, TC.
TC talked about this on his show. Did you not?
Awesome.
You talked about men need to find help too.
Yes, absolutely.
And when he said that, I said, he sounds like Dr. Clay. What? And I loved it.
Yes.
Because when I talk to Dr. Clack, it's not a woman thing. Although we are very focused on empowering women. You know that. But I also love my dark chocolate men. So I don't want you guys lost.
That's right.
I don't want you guys unhealed, walking around hurting each other or hurting another woman.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Okay? We don't want you doing that. That's not what we want. We want you to heal. We want you to find a place where you can find, if closure is what you need, she can help you find it. She can help you get to the process. Go step by step by step. Because, people think that it's like that.
It didn't get like that.
No.
It didn't happen overnight.
No. So you have to take the steps. But we don't know what the steps are.
I think that's a good point. I think often people only know what they hear from other people about therapy. And that has been historically that
negative.
Communities of color just don't do that. We just don't. But I will say that we are growing so much in that area. I know my practice does well with I'm getting more men, period. More men are coming in for psychotherapy, and I'm very impressed with that.
Nice.
The conversations that are coming up. And it's not, men don't come here to learn how to be men. Men see therapists because it's a safe space for them to be vulnerable enough to talk about things they can't talk about with other people.
And they can't talk about it with another guy because,
exactly.
Guys are just going to be, dude,
yes.
What you doing? You crying, dude?
Yes.
What are you crying for?
That is so true.
Man, you better put your pants on right.
Yes.
He does have his pants on right.
That's right. That's exactly what I hear.
It is absolutely okay to cry.
It is. That
you
is
could
a
be
good example.
You could be 6'5" like my brother, dark with the long Indian braids. Cry, bro.
No one is exempt.
Nobody. And it doesn't make you less black.
Nope.
It doesn't make you less Latino. It doesn't make you less Indian. It doesn't. It makes you a better person because you are actually looking for the help.
That's right.
Regardless if your friends are like, you're going to a therapist, dude? That's whack. No, it's not. Whack is them. Don't worry about them. You worry about you. You worry about healing you in here. In here. Because you got to be okay in here. Because you still have a family to take care of and you still got to take care of you. Absolutely. So the other thing that I saw a lot of was, and I'm still seeing it, is grief.
Yes.
So many people have lost so many relatives, have lost their loved ones, have lost their parents. You know, my friend lost her husband of over 20 something years recently, about a year ago. And to watch her mourn 24 hours over his grave was the saddest thing I've ever seen. And I didn't, no matter how many times I said, okay, babe, let's just go. Okay. You know, he's not here. He's in heaven. Let's just move. Those words didn't seem to captivate her. Didn't seem to help her the way I wanted to.
Yeah. Grief is deep. So there are different ways that grief manifests. So we can have people who are directly connected to us, but we can grieve people we don't know personally because it's so much in our face these days.
Oh,
so we have community grief when
Hi, Pop!
there are a lot of people that we're seeing lose their lives to either random violence, police brutality, whatever that is, those losses impact us too. Now, it isn't the same as losing a parent or losing a child, not to say that. But there are different levels that we get impacted by grief. And sometimes people go through mood changes and mood swings, and they don't even realize it's grief. Because they probably think grief is being balled up. I'm not coming out. I'm not talking to anybody. But people can walk around with delayed responses to grief for years. And so it really does take saying, let me go talk to someone. Let me just go talk to someone and say, is this thing grief? What is mourning? What is grieving? What is this? Let me just make sure I'm okay. So sometimes I tell people, just get a mental health check-in. I joke with some of my guys and I say, listen, you should always have a therapist in your back pocket, right? You keep your cell phone, what girls do, but you got a wallet in your back pocket. But when you need
little black book should have a therapist,
right? When you need it, you have it.
Yes,
it's better to need something and have it than not have it. So I tell people, even if you just say, let me just go in, maybe I'll go in every 6 months or whatever, but just to make sure that I'm good.
Right. And the other grief that you probably don't see is the silent grief, like the grief that I go through.
What do you mean? Now you have to tell them what you mean, and me too.
So the grief that I go through silently and quietly, and I don't share with you guys or anybody. The only grief that is seen is by my family, and that is of the Beatrice that used to be.
Ah, yes.
The Beatrice that used to be. Because Beatrice, since her 30s, early 30s, she went through, a very drastic change in her life. You all know of my chronic health conditions. You grieve who you used to be.
That is so true. Yes.
People don't understand that.
That is a very good example. Yes.
People do not get that. They don't understand it. They don't get it. It's like, oh, come on, please. That's no grief.
That is, yes, it is.
And it is. And Eileen just said it. I did read your message, Mama. She's going through a cognitive heart failure, correct? And her body changed, her health has changed. And so she grieves who she used to be.
And what she can no longer do.
Right. And when you're such an achiever all the time, I'm guilty. When you can't achieve it the way you used to, oh my God, that's torture.
It's frustrating.
Oh, you want to slam yourself against the wall. You're like, are you stupid or something? I just told her I took a test not too long ago, didn't pass it, and I thought I was dumb. I started second guessing myself like, pero tú eres una pendeja, ¿qué te pasa a ti? Tú no sabías eso. ¿Pero qué fue? Eso no estaba tan difícil, you stupid or something. And I had to, what are you doing? I had to stop. And my daughter was like, Mom, I don't like all the adjectives you're using right now. Because I just, I was in the car at myself.
Right.
And she had to Mom, it's okay. First of all, you haven't been in school in a long time.
Right.
Second of all, you've gone through all these changes in your life. Third of all, Mom, we even have some issues at home. So calm down.
Mm-hmm.
No big deal. You still
Take it
gonna do it again.
That's it.
So just calm down.
Mm-hmm.
And it took her to like snap me out of it. But if you don't have that person to snap you out of it at that moment,
Yeah,
trust me, you lose it.
that's true.
I've been on those days where I've lost control of myself because I've gotten so angry at myself for not being able to do the things that I used to do, for not being able to jump a hurdle, for not being able to double dutch.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to double dutch. So what, bitches? You can't double dutch. And?
Yeah, but that's something you once enjoyed.
Right.
So not being able to do the things you once enjoyed can bring on depression with
Right.
other kinds of patterns of symptoms. That by in and of itself doesn't, but you add on to that. So the activities I once enjoyed, now I'm restricted on where I can go, how
Right.
much my body can move. So that woman who used to get to do all those things is sort of gone now, right? So you are now adjusting to a new normal.
A new normal. Yeah. Yes. And I'm telling you, Eileen, Jesse, hey, Philly, how are you? I'm telling you guys, it's not your normal, but it can be your normal.
It becomes.
It's something new that you have to adjust to. And let me tell you, it took me years to say, okay, B, this is it. This is who you're going to be. So I had to learn how to evolve.
Yes, that's a good word. I love that. Yep.
The evolution of Beatrice.
Yep.
See that?
That's a good one.
So at 30, 30's gone. 40, I said, what can Beatrice evolve to? And now I'm 50. Guess what? Y'all gonna love me at 50. Because there's another evolution coming. Yes.
Right.
So you adapt yourself.
Mm-hmm.
The grief, though, is the sad part that, yes, you're evolving and you're seeing all the changes, right? But then at nighttime, when you go to lay down and you feel every single pain, right, guys? You're like, oh, man, this crap is here. And it hits you again. So, yeah, your sadness, you work through it. Work through the sadness, work through that pain. Okay? That's how I see it. That's
Right.
how
They're reminders. It reminds you of
that's how I
what
do
you're
it.
going through.
Right.
Yeah.
So, listen, there's a lot of things that everybody's going through, and you have to take it step by step. That's what I'm trying to tell all of you. You got to take it step by step, and you have to trust a therapist like Dr. Clack. Listen, I'm not selling Dr. Clack.
Right, because I cannot work in Puerto Rico. I cannot work in Miami.
Although,
but the role of the therapist is what
we
you're
can
selling.
take a trip. I'll bring her to you. Okay? I bring it. You need her in Puerto Rico? I bring her to you. Okay? Miami?
That's a beautiful gig right there.
But no. Send us the tickets. We're coming. Now, how do you avoid, or should you avoid, thinking about all your feelings?
So, no, we should not avoid that. Avoiding them and suppressing them and stuffing them and pushing them away only can do a couple of things. You internalize them until it impacts your body. So you think that you're taking and pushing them out of your mind, but they don't disappear, right? Emotions don't disappear. So you're suppressing them, and then these are the folks who sometimes find themselves struggling with panic, anxiety. So suppressing feelings is the bad thing. We don't want people to do that.
Okay.
We want them to have a healthy outlet. So even if people say, well, I'm not ready to see a therapist, so then we have other suggestions for healthy coping.
Okay.
Exercise is huge.
Yes.
Walking, meditation is very popular. Like, there's a lot of other ways. Changing your diet. There's some foods that can aggravate, and there are other foods that help with the healing process.
Okay.
So there's some diets that are better than others. Because some people resort to drugs and alcohol to cope.
Yes.
So that's an unhealthy coping. So we want people to use, there's other things, journaling, dance therapy, movement therapy, arts, creative arts, all of those things.
I remember the video she did a podcast. She does these podcasts, which are great. I started sharing them onto our page. You should see them, okay? You need to look at them and really listen. If you can't look, I've told you before, sit the computer somewhere, sit your phone somewhere, and listen to it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
You don't have to look at us. You know what I look like. Right? So just listen to me. Right? Listen.
That's true.
Right? Don't waste your time looking at me. Just listen to me. It's the information that she brings that's valuable. The information she gives you on these podcasts are amazing. And she went through, I think it was a 60-day challenge where every day
30-day. Yeah, for mental health awareness was May.
I loved it.
It's May. Yes.
Every day you had something new. You went through the journaling.
Yes.
My favorite was the music.
Yes.
Why? Because me and music, that's the connection. Yes. When I cannot talk, I can tell you how I feel through the words in a song.
That's right.
And I will use it. I will send her songs. And she'll be like, oh, you're in one of those days. She already knows. She's listening to the words. She forget the rhythm. She's like, where are the words? What is she saying to me? She already knows. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And because to me, that's how I can heal. That's how I can feel I can get that energy back.
Yes.
That courage to get the energy back. Because a lot of people think, oh, I need to teach you how to be empowered. Wrong.
That's right. That's right.
You already have the power.
Yes, within you. That is so true.
I don't need to teach you that.
That's right.
You already have the power. We just have to help you release that power.
Tap into it. It's there.
That's all. We're not empowering you. We're teaching you how to use your own power.
That's right.
How to get better, how to heal, how to move on. And that's the one thing that I tell everybody. If someone is going through something, some grief, something, don't tell them to just move on.
I know. Oh, that hurts my heart when folks tell me that.
Oh, you feeling some type of way? Leave that. Let's move on.
Oh, that hurts my heart when people say, or even employers, when someone is still out on leave. You still dealing with that? I thought by now you'd be over that. Like
man.
The insensitivity around people's grief journey is, the old adage is so true. What our parents said, right? If you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all.
Right.
So if you don't know what to say to someone who's grieving, then you just kind of be. You don't say anything. You let them do the talking. But saying that kind of thing is, I think it's ignorance in the fact that people just don't know what to say, and they think that is encouraging them to move them through that. But it's so insensitive to...
Very insensitive.
Because some people are stuck in it.
Yes. And they might, to me, I think that they're trying to reach out for help. They don't know who.
Yes, they don't know how to. And so to say that will push them right back into that place.
Right.
Because they don't feel safe. Because they're like, man. And they'll say in here, should I be over it? Like, people are telling me I should I? So it just confuses people around their own grief and recovery. Right. And so we talk about individual pathways to grief, and that some people are just uncomfortable and they just don't know how to manage it.
Is it hard to deal with someone that has committed suicide?
Oh man, that's tough. I think that because people don't know why, they get stuck on
the why. Yes.
Instead of the fact that that person is no longer here. And so people will get into debates and conversations why they probably this or how did they do it, and it's really the family that's mourning and the people and family and friends. Like, they don't really want to discuss the why. They really want to kind of begin to work through that process of grieving. But lots of people get stuck on, well, why did that person do that? Why did they leave me? Right. Didn't you know? Didn't you pick up signs or symptoms? And there is no signs or symptoms that will predict. We have research that may say these are causal factors in terms of the level of distress a person may experience that may want to think about taking it. But you will not find anything that says if A, B, and C, and D are present, they're more likely. No. These days, We're seeing kids take their life, and we know about stories behind scenes. Later we find out the kids were bullied or something like that. But don't we know that if that parent knew that kid was at that level of distress, that they would have done something?
Yes. Especially the cyberbullying. That's such a big thing.
And it's hidden. Kids don't like to tell people.
No.
It's hidden.
And because they use this Snapchat, that the message... I taught all of y'all about this social media stuff, right? I went one by one, and I told you what it does. And I told you the Snapchat message comes, they read it, it's gone.
Yes.
So how does mommy know what the child is going through if the message deleted? And I can't recover it.
That's right.
Because remember, Snapchat was snap-a-boo. Yeah, we talked about that, didn't we? So how do we help our children when we don't know?
Wow. Always keep open communication with them. Good times and bad times. So you want to have, so that they know they can come to you. Now, there are some kids who are like, I'm never going to go to my mom or dad about this or that.
They're going to kill me.
Right? Yeah. That's fine. Then you say to your kids, if you can't come to me, you got Aunt so-and-so or Uncle so-and-so or you got a school counselor. Give them a safe person.
Right.
They probably 9 times out of 10 know you well enough that if they came to you, although you said, I promise you I won't do anything, they tell you and you fly off the handle because that's just the mama bear and daddy bear in you. So you want to believe, they want to believe you, and they know you have good intentions, that you can come to me with anything. And as they're talking to you, your eyes are getting bigger, and they're like, oh, I knew I shouldn't have said anything. I should protect my parents. So as long as you can help them find a safe person, they just need someone.
Yeah, because the cyberbullying is something that children as young as maybe 10.
Yes, because they have phones.
Maybe earlier, I don't know. Yeah, that's the bad part. They have all this technology, but they can't have a conversation with you.
Yes, that's right.
I know how to sexting my boyfriend from across the room in the same classroom, but I can't go home and talk to mommy about anything because I don't know how to have a conversation. And we are enabling them to not learn how to have a conversation.
Because we're all out at dinner on our own phones. You can see this all the time when you go out to a public restaurant.
Oh, my
Everybody's
goodness.
got their phone and there's no conversation.
No!
It's hilarious to see, but it's very sad.
It's very sad. And I'm glad that my kids and I, we still have those conversations. Good. Because I don't want to talk to the top of your head.
Right. It's like,
yeah. I know what your hair looks like. Yes. I don't need to see it.
Yes.
Okay. I want to be able to say, hey, Christina, how was your day?
Yeah.
And you open your mouth and talk to me.
And not text.
Don't text me.
Not stand in front of me.
Don't text me. Oh my God, don't text me.
But I will say this. There are kids and parents who that is their primary mode of communication.
Right.
Because they don't have a very good relationship where they can talk.
Right.
So temporarily it works.
It does work.
It works.
I will admit again. Okay, I'm admitting.
Yeah.
Me and my oldest daughter.
Yes.
And she knows it.
Yeah.
We text. It's not that I don't love her, and it's not that she doesn't love me.
That's right.
We are stubborn mules. Both of us. And yeah, sometimes mommy more than her. Yeah. So mommy has learned to shut it up.
Okay.
And just let's text. Let's just
go.
put it out.
Yes.
And then by tomorrow that you see me, Mom, you won't react.
That's right.
So it does work. But it doesn't mean that that's the solution to everything.
Nah, it doesn't replace human interaction.
No. So when she comes over, she's still joking around with me. We still talk about things. We even talk about the text that I received. We are good with that now. But we have to go through the process of learning how to interact with each other because we're both so alike.
Yes.
But we didn't know that we were both so alike. Not only do we look alike, shit. But we also think alike. We behave alike. Is the weirdest thing. kookiest thing. Funny. It's weird. It's a little bit spooky, Chris.
She is your child.
It's a little bit spooky, girl. And now it's Crystal, the youngest. Oh. It's like, oh my God, what in the world what? Are you my twin or what the hell? Okay. So, it's spooky. Yes. It's spooky. And my youngest son, like, how does your boy become your twin? What? Yeah. So we've learned to text.
Okay.
Yes. But we still have conversations. The texting should not take place of human communication.
Right. That's right.
Because to me, I can send you a text, but you can't see my feelings.
That's the problem, is that the content and intent sometimes don't match. So people read into a text something that wasn't there.
No.
That's a huge misunderstanding.
And then that's where all this conflict and fighting and aggravation comes in. Mm-hmm. So you sometimes just put the phone down, or if you send a text, then make the phone call. Yeah. And say, this is what I meant.
That'd be better.
This is what I meant. I didn't mean to say it that way. This is what I meant. Because sometimes the voice is the tone in your voice that carries the message. Because the tone in your voice, I've always thought, comes from your heart. It comes from your soul, what you feel. When you're texting, it's just a thought. It's just words. It's just words on there. It could mean nothing. I'm just telling you something. Hey, I want you. You want what? I don't know. I don't know. What do you want? I want you. Okay, you want what? You want chocolate chips? What?
Yeah,
what?
It's not enough information.
No. A lot of women go through, I'm Superwoman. I should be able to handle everything and not need to go to a therapist.
Yeah, that's probably my biggest soapbox that I get on, that the myth of the strong Superwoman, that we are invincible and that we put everyone's needs above ours because we've been socialized and raised to be that way. Has to die. So we have to dismantle and disrupt that idea that we're supposed to be all, do all for everybody and everything. And why? Because our bodies are not built to carry the capacity of the load for every child, every spouse. Now we are even caregivers now for our aging parents, employees. So the roles that a woman has, you cannot possibly, and multitask is not even a real thing anyway, but you cannot possibly give your attention to so many things and think you have something left for yourself. So that strong black woman image that I can do it all by myself, or I've been a single parent for this long by myself, I don't need him, is really false humility.
Yeah.
Because that's not true, but that's how we protect ourselves from that little person or that little girl inside that says, man, I need help. But I'm not going to let people know how vulnerable I am. I'm not going to tell people that I need help.
That vulnerability is what they don't want to show.
Oh, yeah, that's the other dirty. That's the other dirty word in therapy that I am changing the image of. Vulnerability is not a dirty word.
No.
But people look at vulnerability as
the weak link.
Yes, weakness, and I'm not going to let anybody take me for granted ever again.
Man.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That is the roughest because you like, what? You can't.
Yes.
You better not be talking to me like that. What? But how if you just say, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
Or, hey, we're going to agree to disagree on this. We're going to retreat.
Exactly.
And we'll come back to this another time. But, allowing situations to take you out of your character. That's a lot.
That's too much energy.
Yeah.
I ain't got that energy anymore.
And nobody should have that much power and influence over your emotions. Nobody should take you into a place, that dark place, because of an argument or a disagreement. Right. No way.
Right.
That's giving away your power.
Yes.
That's definitely giving away your
power. And we don't do that.
No, we don't.
We don't do that around here.
We need all our power.
We don't do that around here. No. Now, the abuse pattern. Let it be sexually, physically, emotionally. A lot of women go through it quietly.
Yes.
And that to me is very sad because they are, to me, they're destroying themselves. Because they're not allowing themselves to find someone that can help them. If it's that they want to get out of the situation or they just want to figure out within themselves what they want to do, they need to come to a therapist and get that help and figure out.
That's a hard one because typically it's a multi-layered thing. Mm-hmm. So a lot of women know it's necessary to get out of that relationship, but at the same time they're financially dependent on that person. Mm-hmm. So it's like planning your way safely and out of that. Mm. And we know how many women don't make it out. You know, a lot of women are dying to domestic violence.
Yes.
So, it's multi-layered. It usually involves multi-layered systems. Someone may need financial assistance. They may need a women's shelter. They may need the therapy. They may need a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they need someone to coordinate all that.
Yes.
To bring that together for them. So that's one that I find that people are often judged about while they're still in it. You should have left a relationship. Why are you still in it? It is not that easy. Mm-mm. We see it and we know the person doesn't need to be in it. But there's a lot of work mentally that woman has to do to feel like she can make it on her own.
Yes.
That person has manipulated her for so long, she doesn't think that she can make it. So she has to do a lot of work. Mm-hmm. And that takes time.
And she doesn't see herself as valuable anymore. Mm-hmm. She thinks that she is, a loser because she's going through all this abuse.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. Y'all should have said something, baby.
What is it saying?
That it's very low.
Maybe are we too far away? Oh, it is low.
Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I hope you heard everything. If you didn't, tell us. Trust me, we repeat. But we were talking about abuse and how we believe that we shouldn't say anything to anyone because a lot of women that go through abuse, let it be physical, emotional, verbally, we think that we have to suffer in silence. Mm-hmm. And Dr. Clack is saying, no, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. How do you teach someone to recognize their bad patterns, thinking patterns, and their bad behavior patterns?
So you said, how do you teach someone?
How do you teach them to see it? To recognize that they're doing that.
Wow. So I think one of the things I think you said the word patterns. Mm-hmm. So it's to look at, when does this happen? How long has this been happening? Are you the common denominator in these happening? Mm-hmm. And find and kind of unpack it. Like, when do these things typically happen? How are you making these choices? Do you know what drives you to make these choices? So it's really kind of unpacking it piece by piece so that the person begins to put it together themselves. Mm-hmm. So again, we're just a facilitator. We're just a guide. We ask the right questions to prompt people to get them to start looking at themselves, because our goal really is to increase their level of self-awareness. That's the whole goal of therapy, is to become more aware of why I do what I do, why I'm thinking the way, and why I'm feeling the way, and then why I behave the way that I do. And then we help them make the connection between them. And then we say, okay, now that you've made the connection, let's talk about ways to kind of break these patterns. Let's change or in some way adapt your functioning. And then there are a ton of interventions that people use to do that.
So they should always start with the therapist so that they can figure out what it is that's going on.
I think that the therapist is a great place to start for everyone. But if someone says, hey, I'm not ready for that, there's lots of self-help books out there. So if you're disciplined, that's the problem. People will buy these books.
And it'll last for 1 hour.
Right. They're stacking up on our thing, or they have audibles and they won't listen to them. Yes. So if you really need accountability, then you probably should get the therapist. If you're self-disciplined, There are great books out there on everything you can think of that will help you to manage that same kind of thing. If you're just like, I'm not ready to go into the room yet. So
yeah, I think that a lot of people are scared of. I gotta sit in that couch over there. Yeah. What is she gonna ask me? Is she gonna take notes on what I'm saying?
Right.
Because we see you. Really? Okay, yes. Tell me more. And we're like, I don't want to tell you anymore. Yes, I don't know what you're writing.
It does feel a little intimidating in the beginning. That is true.
But
that is true.
I learned that just like we have to go through a process, they are going through their process to learn who we are.
Yes.
When we walk in, they don't know who we are.
That's right. There's no judgment. No judgment.
They gotta guess. Do you really want them guessing?
No, we don't want to guess. We don't want to guess.
It's not gonna look pretty. Okay, you're gonna be more of a mess if they guess. Okay, so you have to let them write it down and ask you questions and whom's and okay and really and tell me about your childhood.
All those good questions.
All those good questions. Yes. I learned all my questions.
Yes.
So, can you elaborate on how to give a woman who suffered abuse a voice when in their childhood upbringing their voice was suppressed? Love it.
That's a good question. So, what you're describing is trauma. And when we work with people who have childhood trauma, and then later there are instances where they're re-traumatized. So let's say at age 6 they suffered either physical or sexual abuse. And from then they learn that I be quiet. If I'm quiet, no one will see me. No one will bother me. And then subsequently you hit adolescence. And we know that adolescence brings a whole lot of hormones, a lot of different things. And maybe in that instance we get re-traumatized again. Maybe a boyfriend takes advantage of us. We could be the victim of rape. Now it's like trauma on top of trauma. Now you become an adult woman. You happen to pick, because of your traumatic experiences, an unhealthy relationship. So now you're maybe mentally abused. So all along, parts of yourself have been lost all along the way. That is the role of the therapist, is to find your voice. In therapy, sometimes it's the first place they have a voice, because the focus is on them. It's their healing space. There's no one to compete with their voice.
Right.
But it's a process to heal the little girl. You may be 50, but you're working on that 6-year-old. So
because that's when it happens.
Yeah, there's a way to do and that's developmental trauma when you're that young. At 6, some people, we call that kind of like when people get life change, they can pinpoint like when I was 6. So developmentally, life changed from that point on.
When something really happens.
So arrested development can happen. And so while their body's growing, and as girls they're developing, they're still dealing with that trauma. And so the therapist goes back. We do go back. We go back and work to heal the little girl and to work through adulthood. And that takes time. Yeah. That absolutely, you have to be compassionate with yourself and stick with therapy, because it will feel like all I'm doing is talking about this. All I'm doing is, but if the therapist is really good around trauma-informed care and working on trauma interventions, they will get you to that place. But it does not happen overnight. You got to be compassionate and patient with yourself.
Yeah. Batista, that was a good question.
It was excellent.
Anybody has questions, I forgot to tell you, you know me. Listen, just send it. You got a comment, send it. Eileen, thank you for that comment. Batista, thank you for yours. If you have a question, comment, anything. If you're going through something and you just want to know what to do next, go ahead. Let us know. Don't be afraid. Like I told you, La Gitana and Beatriz is not here to judge, and neither is Dr. Clack. She's always been that way. If you see her podcast, you trust me, she's not there to judge. We're here to try to help you reach whatever goal it is that you're trying to reach. Lillian, your husband was just there. He better be still there. From Trenton. We have everybody from Connecticut. Mr. Reed Pop, I love you. Thank you for always being there. You're just great. Yvonne, my Buddhist girl. Yes, I saw you. I saw you there. I'm glad that everybody joins and everybody's asking questions and learning. I'm glad that I came back to talk to her because mental health is something that is the core of our everyday life.
Absolutely. Everybody has mental health.
Right?
We all don't have mental illnesses.
No.
But we all have mental health.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But if it's broken, mm-hmm. or even if it has a fracture, mm-hmm. then it's not working properly.
That's right.
Just a small fracture that you may think it's nothing. You know, I can control it. It's okay. Mm-hmm. No, it's not okay.
That's right.
It's not okay. And you should not be judged, and you should not be told to shut up. Mm-hmm. You should not be told it's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. Listen, you have to share what you're going through in order to get help, in order to get better. We all have to do that. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't mean let's go to the gym and talk it out. No. Although if you want her to go to the gym with you, she will.
Well, first, I need to go gym for myself. Then I'll bring you along. But I'm getting there.
I'm trying to take her everywhere with me, ain't I?
She got me in the gym doing therapy, y'all.
I got you in Puerto Rico. And we're going to Miami, too.
Oh, my gosh. This is hilarious.
Talking about Puerto Rico.
Yes.
Let me explain. And all of you know. Samantha, how are you, baby girl? If you want to talk, tell me. Puerto Rico went through the hurricane. Mm. Everything was destroyed. Just like in Virgin Islands, everything was destroyed. And it's taking so long to recover and to build our homes back up and everything. There is such anger and such frustration. Barbara, hi, honey. Such frustration and such anger in Puerto Rico that there is a rising in domestic violence.
Yo, wow, I didn't know that.
There's a very big rise in domestic violence. Okay. And the sad part about domestic violence in Puerto Rico is that there was no law controlling it. Mm. So it was okay to beat your spouse. Wow. It was okay. Wow. And if you call the cops, they're like, okay, está bien. Okay. Now, there's laws implemented that you can't do that. Okay. But how do you help a whole island?
I know. And that's it. That is that is another grief, like this disenfranchised grief where we are suffering as a community, as a country, as a part of the world. We're suffering, mm-hmm. and we're projecting it onto our family members that are closest to us because no one else who has the resources outside of us is listening to help us. Mm-hmm. So we take our frustrations out on those closest to us. Yeah. So that's really a country, community, wherever people are that's larger than your family, that's an intervention that has to be global. Yes. And those kind of initiatives, and I don't know if they've started that there, but that's an initiative where they have to do community education because it's bigger than that family. Yes. Right? Because it was once okay. Mm-hmm. No one was really stopping it at some point, you're saying. And so it became in a community crisis. It became a public health concern. Yes. And that's where that level of intervention has to start, with education, of course, with resources for families, and then you can work in the therapy around this trauma and grief that everything I once had is lost. Right. And so I'm so frustrated that you're there, so you're going to get it. Right. Right. But it's not just that one family, it's a whole community. A whole community. Right. And that's the scariest part because yes, the collective energy in the island is of despair, lack of self-worth, low self-esteem. You're right, because of all the things that we have lost. Yes, absolutely. And I say we have lost, although I have not lost, thank God.
and my mother's property is still there. So we didn't lose. But I say we because my colored people are there. Yeah. My Taino Indians are there. And so I say we. And you know, I was fortunate enough to help a few of the women escape. I got them to a safe house. Okay. I got involved because I didn't know what to do. But I knew I had to help somehow. And one of the mothers actually contacted me here and said, my daughter's in Puerto Rico and she's being abused. I need your help. And I'm like, what do you want me to do? Wow. And I said, I don't know what to do. She said, come on, Beatriz, please. You helped me before. I need your help again. And I was lost. I'm not even going to lie. I was lost at what to do. And I reached out to a friend of mine that I was helping with animal rescues in Puerto Rico. And she said, well, Beatriz, yeah, it's rampant because there's no law against that. That's okay here. And I said, what? She says, yeah, there's no law against spousal abuse. And so I had to read up on it. I had to read up on the law, what I could not do. And so when I found her, I started to get these women into safe houses. Lucky, a lot of my friends over there allowed me to bring them into their houses, and they protected them until their families here got them to the mainland. Wow. So it was a whole process. But now, even one of them, I just feel like she's lost. Okay. She's here in the mainland. She's with her daughter, but it's almost... you could see and hear the frustration in her voice because she's lost everything she had, which was there, including her husband, which she thought, he's the love of my life. We've been together forever. And you know, if you're listening, I'm not going to say your name, babe, but you know I love you and I'm always here for you and your mommy. So if you ever need me again, listen, I'm right here. And you know that. I figure it out. I figured how to get you here, and I'll do it again. Yeah. Okay, so that's something really big in the whole island. I'm pretty sure Virgin Islands is going through their suffering as well. But the domestic violence and the opiates crisis is like all-time high because we have lost so much. We don't know how to cope with what's going on. That's right. Yep. You know, in a flash, everything left. Like the wind came and you're gone. That's how fast it was. So, you know, it's bad. So we have we have more comments. Hold on, guys. You went really fast. My father was a heroin addict when I was a kid and left my mother with the clothes on her back. Back then, there was no rehab, only jail. This was back in the 60s and 70s. She is always bringing up, let's see if I can get that. She is always bringing up what he did to her. He passed in 2004. All right, Lena, I'm sorry about that, girl. Yeah. That's sad. I'm really sorry about that. Heroin addiction, I know is difficult to work with. One of my best friends that I consider her a sister, I found her prostituting herself, you know. She was addicted on heroin. So it's really difficult steps to take to get them out of that. And then now your mom is angry at what had happened, but he's gone, and she's still angry. Is that what you're saying? That she's still angry till today? That she's still angry? We have to start talking about the resources available from within to help raise the level of consciousness in the island. We have to promote a mindset of limitedness to harness their own creativity. To create new ways to sustain a way of life that is balanced. You know, we had all the sugar canes, right? And we used to grow all our things. We had everything. We grew our crops. But as our parents got older, the younger ones don't want to do that.
Labor.
They don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Me going to sugar cane under that sun? No. Okay. Me go pick that corn?
Yes.
But I'm hungry. But I ain't gonna go pick it.
Exactly.
And that's what's happening. And so you're very right. We have to teach our people that we have to sustain ourselves. And even here in the United States, I think that we're pampered.
Oh yes.
We're too pampered.
Absolutely.
Listen, now we buy the carrots already shredded.
Yes.
Because we don't want to shred anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
Our hands may hurt. My ring might fall off.
Yeah. Very much.
Okay.
You're absolutely right.
So, yeah, I know. How can we as a community pull together all our voices and lift the energy of life of the collective? We need to continue the conversation. And that's what Dr. Clack does in all her podcasts. When you go to Dr. Clack's page, you're going to see a collection of all her videos, live videos that she does, and she talks about all of this. She talks about how to heal, how to get better, how to not be stuck in your own mind, because we do get stuck in our own mind. So yeah, she talks about all these steps and all these things that you can do. Cake, how are you, honey? I keep seeing all your beautiful cakes. You're doing great. Yvonne I saw her. I love Yvonne's spirit. She is very free. You think that I'm free? Yvonne is super free. She's my Buddhist colleague over there, right?
Okay.
And so we learn to change the way we think. We learn to feel different. We learn to go through the process of whatever we need to go through, because in order to heal, we have to go through it. So, yeah, Yvonne, I love you. I see all your videos too. And I saw the dancing one. That was a good, I think I'm going to do it. She was in her backyard and she was free. Nice. She was just free. And, Dr. Clack does the same thing. But Dr. Clack does it in a way that she'll go to the park and she'll just she'll walk around. Yeah. And that's her way of thinking and of meditating. So we have to, like you say, recognize who we are and what helps
works
us.
For us.
Yeah. So now I'm going to tell you guys, because I told you in the beginning, she is an author. What? What?
Hi, thank you.
Women of Color Talk. I love this book. I have been reading it. I'm stuck. Yeah. And I love it because in it, she doesn't just talk, when she says women of color, you immediately think just black women. Wrong. Don't assume with Dr. Clack. Wrong. She's talking about you, me, and the black community. That's what she's talking about. She's talking about all of us. And I like that she gives, she says the narratives or the stories of certain ladies. And I tell you, I was hooked on the first one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Trina and me are friends.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I saw my reflection.
Well, the vignettes are reflections of every person I have worked with in the last many, many, many years. And I pulled from all of their stories because we have so many universal experiences.
Yes. So. But Trina's experience as what we talked, you can't be a superwoman. But Trina thought she was. And when a superwoman's world starts to crumble right before her eyes, she still in public has to pretend to be superwoman. Although inside, she's torn apart. She's a hot mess. Oh, she's going through all this stuff. Now I'm just going to be angry. Now you're going through the wrong emotions. But do you know that you're going through the wrong emotions? No. Because you're too stubborn to want to come to Dr. Clack.
Or any therapist, because listen, I cannot come to Puerto Rico.
I'm sorry, I'm
any
trying to sell
therapist, right? She's really put me out there. But she's talking about the role of the therapist, right?
Exactly.
We want you to seek out someone who can provide some support.
Yes. So this book, guys, where is this book?
So you can get it on my website, or you can get it on Amazon. It's actually available on Amazon.
And you know I'm an Amazon freak.
Yes.
Yes. I even shocked her with this.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love it. I love it.
I walked in and I had to shock her today.
That's a good one.
But this book, I'm telling you guys, she explains everything from depression to all the things that we spoke about today. The grief, the loss, the relationships. She gives you statistics so that you know you're not the only one. Because a lot of times we think,
we're
I'm the
not
only
alone.
one. I'm the only one that's going through this. Listen, you may think you're the only sister going through this. Look over to your sister. She might be going through it. She just doesn't tell you.
Exactly.
She just doesn't tell you. But you may see it in her behavior, in her attitude, in her tone of voice, or something that she does that she's never done before, and you're like, what is that? And that may be the depression.
That's right.
But she don't want to know it. So you have to come to her. You know, a lot of times, and that's the good thing about the inner circle that I have, is that all of you have known me and have gotten to know who I am to an extent that you are able to tell me, B, what's going on, girl? You weren't doing that before. What was that? Why did you say that? I'm coming over.
Yeah. People who know you know the difference.
Yeah, but we think that we're hiding it. No. And 50, I'm tired of hiding it.
It's time for us to recover and move on.
So, guys, I thank you.
I do too. I enjoyed this. Thank you.
Find Dr. Clack on Facebook. Go on her page, on her business page. Yes. Don't go on her personal page and drive her crazy.
I'm very good at setting boundaries, so you can if you want to. I'm very good. I will help you as much as I can. So you can drive me crazy if you want to. But I've learned.
She might not answer.
I'm going to answer. You may not like the answer. I'm going to answer. I'm not going to leave you out there. I'm not going to leave you hanging. She's terrible. Oh my God.
So do find her business page. Yes, the name of the book is Women of Color Talk.
And so there's a subtitle, Psychological Narratives of Trauma and Depression. And so you can find it on my website under resources, but you can also get it on Amazon.
So go on Amazon and get that book. Because it is great. It's a great read.
I'll try to put a link on it on your page. I'll try to do that.
Add it to your book list and read it. Share it. Share this video. If you still have a question, yes, the business page is Dr. Angela Clack.
So you can do both of them. Absolutely. Yes.
Dr. Angela Clack.
You got it?
Yvonne said, I will coach you to keep people from driving you crazy. Listen, she already knows.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious.
She already knows how to do that one.
Yes.
But I'm going to share this. She's going to share it on our page. And we are going to share the business page. So you can go on there and just click on there. If you have questions, you can send it to me or you can send it to her.
Absolutely.
If she doesn't have an answer, she will let you know.
And I will help you
find
it.
Michael, hi. How are you, Maria? How are you? Next Wednesday, we bounce. What? Next Wednesday, we bounce.
Oh, you're doing the thingy?
On the skate things?
Yeah, I've seen them.
So next Wednesday, we bounce, everybody.
I can't wait to see that.
I did it on May 18th with Maria. Maria invited me to the Leap Academy health fair, and I got on those things.
Yeah.
It was scary.
I'll come watch, but I ain't getting on it.
See, she can only come. How about that?
I don't think I'm that coordinated. But I would love to watch.
So we are going to interview Maria if you're there. But we're going to interview Jessica Caraballo. Another Caraballo. But no relatives.
That name sounds familiar. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
She's not a relative though.
Okay.
And she is super high energy.
Ooh, I like that.
So she's more energy than I am. Hopefully, I got my boost back.
I love that. I do want to thank you so much for thinking of me again and bringing me on. No. So I've appreciated the evening.
I noticed all the news feed and you guys know when I don't know how to help you guys, I'm gonna find the solution.
You're always resourceful.
Okay, I'm gonna find the solution, and if I can't bring the person to me, I'll figure out a way to get to them. Yeah. Okay, I don't drive a lot anymore, but she's close. Yes. That's all I gotta say. That's very true. Okay, that's all I gotta say. So, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Guys, these are the new cups.
Yes, my cup.
Oh, she got hers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yes.
Have an awesome evening.
I would like to do that. Yes, I would. A bomba en plena. Do you know what a bomba en plena is? Mm-mm. Bomba en plena is the African dance of the slaves that came to Puerto Rico. And it was a fusion of Puerto Rico and Africa.
Right.
And we tell our stories through dance.
Oh, I would love to see that.
So if I can get someone to either lend me their bomba outfit, absolutely, I would do that for you guys. Because yes, nice. I do dance bomba. And yes, I do dance plena.
See that.
Yes, I used to sing it. I don't sing it anymore. If you don't know what bomba en plena are, again, it's a fusion of Africa with Puerto Rico. And the dancer is telling the story through her garment. So every flick of her garment. And she is at the drummer has to go with her rhythm. So she does a strike, he does a strike. Oh. She does a strike, he responds. And it's a beautiful dance because when we were slaves and we couldn't see our family from over there, our song would carry.
I get that.
And we would tell our stories of, I'm okay, I'm not okay. Yeah. They took this person, they did this. And so our dancing and our song is what kept us informed and uplifted.
I like that.
So it was our way of praising, right? And so I used to do it a lot. It was one of my performances on stage. And then I became a promoter for it.
Okay.
That's how I got into the entertainment business. Oh. And so all my kids know how to do it. Wow. Even the ones that say, I hate that. Yeah, I forced them. That was forced. And you know why I forced culture on them? Because they need to know where they're coming from.
Absolutely. No explanation needed.
You have to know where you're coming from.
No explanation
Nate, you need to know that when you're in Camden, you need to call me. Yup, I put you on blast. Nate is from Houston, Texas.
Oh my gosh.
And he knows I love him. Oh. Guys, thank you again. If you have any questions, just send them to me. Love you.
Bye, you guys.
I'll bring music next week. Love you guys.